Right. Hey everybody, Dr. Bulow here with Revive Upper Cervical Chiropractic, your area expert on spinal alignment. And coming to you on behalf of Around Cranberry Township, where we like to connect you with local business owners and service professionals. And today I've got the pleasure of introducing you to Miss Helen Testa of True Merchant Solutions. And it's interesting, we were talking on the way over, I meet with Helen once a week for coffee with a small group of business owners, And I don't know if I've told you this story, but one of the reasons we started Around Cranberry was for what I just said, connecting people with the community, right? Sure. Local business owners, because Cranberry is such a diverse place, you know what I mean? And it's growing, If you guys are new to the area, this video is for you.
Yes.
All of the ACT interviews are for you. That's why I created it, because there's so many new people in the area.
There is.
But there's great local small businesses and small business owners and service professionals that have been here for years and decades. Yeah. And a lot of times people just don't know about them,
Sure.
So please take a minute after this video, click the hashtag ACT interviews. You'll see just a plethora of old interviews over the last few years that we've done. And I was chatting with Helen on the way over from our business meeting this morning. And most of our interviews are what we call B2C. So I want to introduce community members like you and I and all of you guys to businesses that you can utilize, restaurants and fun things to do with family. Helen's services are more B2B, businesses to businesses. So this interview is especially if you own your own business or if you are a service professional yourself. So if you're not, don't fret. You can still help out. Maybe you have friends or families that own a business. You can share this with them because this is an important topic because it has to do with credit card processing. Yeah. And the internet is like rife with just tons of ads and things, and especially with business owners, we get approached all the time by people promising to have like the best rate and this and that, and it's just kind of like credit card processing is one of those things that we just kind of ignore until it blows up in our face. Like that's just, as a business owner, I'm just letting you guys know that's how it works. So Helen, why don't you introduce your processing company and kind of like maybe how you help ease the anxiety, because I know you have with me, how you help ease the anxiety for small business owners here in Cranberry.
Sure, okay. Well, my name is, as you mentioned, is Helen Testa, and I am the owner of True Merchant, and we have been in the payment processing space for the last 10 years. So we've seen quite the evolution of technology, a lot of advances in our space. And we serve local businesses. One of the great things about True Merchant is we are locally based here. So that's a piece I think that a lot of folks miss out, right? So that's why we're around Cranberry. And having a local provider, there's nothing like having a local provider.
Especially the owner of the business.
Yeah, exactly. There's nobody to go to if it's wrong. I've got to fix it.
That's right.
So it's definitely an advantage for sure. So True Merchant, as I said, we've been around 10 years. We have an A+ rating in the Better Business Bureau, and if you're currently processing credit cards, you may have you may love your provider, you may have had some horrible experiences. It's hard to maintain that rating for any business. It's really difficult, and in our space in particular, it's difficult. So we're really proud of that. So we work really hard not only to earn your business, but to keep your business, and that's by servicing it after the fact. Our pricing is transparent. We do Interchange Plus pricing. We do that free complimentary rate review. So you come in, I'll take a look at your statement, or I'll come to you rather, look at your statement, review your rates, how you're taking cards, make recommendations. We truly come from a consultant feel, and we really want to educate our customers so they understand how they can save on fees, not only by reducing their rates, but the way they're taking cards or the way they've set things up. If they're not set up properly, they could be paying more just by nature of the setup. So we really try to educate our customers.
I found the same thing in clinical practice. And it's funny, you said 10 years you've been doing this?
Yeah.
We started our practice in 2008 in the community, and so you learn a lot when you're in business for 10 years. You really do. And I've come to the same place, which is like, the more as a professional we can help educate and consult and find what's best for our clients, the better they are. That includes doctoring, and it includes business, includes all those things. Some local businesses in Cranberry have been around for decades. So what is something that you've found you've been able to help the most? Like, what's one of the biggest glaring, what's the biggest delta when you come into a small business that's been around for 10, 20, 40 years? What do you see they need the most in your area of expertise?
There are two things. a lot of times a business that's been established and around for a while hasn't changed their technology.
Yeah.
So they've got either outdated equipment, or they don't realize.
But Helen, what difference does it make? I've been doing it this way for 40 years. So what? So
that's a fair question. If you can, it's all about your customer. So if you can offer your customer,
you mean it's not about me that I've been doing it for 40 years?
If your customer wants the convenience of paying in a different method, a different way, it's important, and they should have a voice. Even customers that I still find folks not taking American Express.
Yeah.
American Express changed their model probably 6 years ago, so it's not out of reach for small businesses anymore.
Yeah, that was us, by the way. She's talking about us.
Sorry. But if you have a customer coming in and they want to use that card and you're telling them no, like, the business environment is competitive. Like,
sure.
you want to dictate to your customer. So you want to be able to, you want your customers to be able to use the methods they want to pay with, right? And then if your technology is outdated, or we can give you a different channel to bring payments in and streamline that process, we're saving you money.
Or even like you're saying, there's these contactless methods, like with your iPhones and things like that. So I would just assume, again, if you're not a business owner yourself, but you go to a business that you like and they don't let you do that, and you want to do that, you're like, hey, I don't want to touch. I remember when COVID first started, and we were in Lowe's. It was so funny. We were making a payment, and it was like, well, what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to touch the dials? You know. Now, full transparency, as a chiropractor, I don't have as much anxiety. Not to say it's not an issue, but I just thought it was kind of like almost this awkwardness, like, because on one hand we're supposed to do things a certain way, but on the other hand I'm not able to. Like, if I'm not supposed to touch things, how do I do this? But that is one of those new technologies with credit card processing that I didn't even really know about, that you can do it without touching the device, which is kind of cool.
Sure.
Now, I want to shift gears a little bit, because we could talk about the technology. We could talk about how Helen is very transparent and saves the rates. There's no contracts. Like, that's awesome. But what I'm really curious with this group specifically, you live here. Sure. You've been here 10 years. I'm curious to help people get to know you. Sure. So, like, how did you start? Like, why did you start? When did you start True Merchant Services? What was that origin story like?
Sure.
What got you into the field?
Sure.
You know?
Okay. Good to know. So we started the company, as I said, we've been at it 10 years, and we started. I'm trying to think of the best way to frame this story.
That's
here.
right.
We kind
Put you on the spot.
Yeah, we kind of fell into it by accident.
Really?
Right? Yeah. It was kind of.
right.
It wasn't. Sometimes the best things are unplanned.
That's right.
And we were working with a partner who wanted to launch his own business at the time, and didn't have the funding or the business background, which we had. I'm the president, but this is a family-owned business, so I should mention that as well, because family-owned businesses are near and dear to me. So we launched this together, and we started to work in the space, and just saw a need for lack of, honesty. Really, that's what it gets down to. We just saw a lot of things that weren't transparent, and we're like, this is a business where if you do what you say and deliver on your promises, it's almost a niche, which is sad.
I was going to say, that's
in
a
some
tough
ways,
niche.
that's kind of sad.
We're the honest ones.
It's kind of sad, but we've just seen a lot with rates. You promise one rate, it's a different rate. It's confusing by design. You end up in a lease where you're paying this high lease price for a terminal that costs next to nothing. You're paying $48 a month for a terminal that's $250 out of the box. It's a 48. So we saw a lot of that, and we know, like, as a small business, costs are, you're super sensitive to costs. Sometimes it's a do or die, and we can come in and offer that honesty, that level of transparency, and deliver what we say we're going to do. That's kind of like how we rolled into it.
And you figure this page is called Around Cranberry because there's so many little suburbs around the hub. I look at Cranberry like the center wheel, and you have this, like, the hub of the wheel, I guess it's called, but the spokes all around, like Zilli and Evans City and Mars and Beaver, and so it's a lot of these are mom and pop shops, what I mean, that have maybe just come along throughout the years, or they're just starting. Sure. So I think that's really cool and really important to give them just total transparency and low pressure. In different industries, there's a lot of pressure, but it's we don't love to do that with our patients, and it's nice to know that you don't do that with your customers.
For
sure. So here's another question I usually ask, and then we'll kind of wrap things up. But one of my favorite questions is, okay, that's how you got started. What keeps you coming back? You know what I mean? Like as entrepreneurs and business and service professionals, it's a lot of work. You know what I mean? It really is. It's a labor of love for a lot of us. We do it because we care. We do it because we love it. Because it's not easy to kind of run your own enterprise, your own business, especially if it's a small business. So I'm always kind of curious, like, what do you enjoy most about it, and what kind of keeps you going?
Sure. I think one of the things I enjoy, well, I love meeting new people,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So expanding your network and getting to, you know, get out and meet these small business owners. And I think what really keeps me, you know, coming back and getting up every day and continuing to do it is I can leave people in a better place. So I know when I can come in and take a look and help their business and, you know, get a referral from them and, you know, become a new friend.
Yeah.
I just think that keeps me going, and
Yeah.
and it's been exciting. You know, it's an exciting space because the technology from 10 years ago to today is just like there's something new evolving every day.
Yeah.
So it doesn't get stale. It's
Yeah.
really fresh,
Yeah.
and there's always something new on the horizon. So but between those two things is
cool.
why I really enjoy the space.
That is really neat.
Yeah.
It's all about relationships,
Yeah,
man. Life is
yeah,
about relationships.
Totally.
So here's the deal: if you have any questions at all for Helen, please just comment in the comment section of the video. If you are yourself, or if you know someone that's a small business owner or a service professional, please do share this video with them, because who knows, they might be in a tight spot and you don't even know it. You know, maybe they're in a tight spot financially, or maybe they've got some stress in their relationship with their current processing company and they'd like to just get a second opinion. Helen, I'm sure, will be very capable.
Absolutely.
And so with that, I will stop talking because I like to talk. I will give Miss Helen here the last word.
Okay.
And I just want to say thanks again to everybody watching and hanging out with us today. But Helen, please, any last words for the
All
community?
right. Well, just thank you very much
Absolutely.
for taking the time to interview me today. Yeah, please feel free to reach out. It's a free analysis. I'm happy to come in and just take a look. It's no cost to you. You know, so take advantage of that opportunity, especially if you haven't done it in a while. It's always good to kind of look and see where you are and see if we can help you.
All right. Awesome. Thanks,
All right.
Helen.
All right.
We'll see you guys
Thank you.
around. Bye now.
All right.